Hello, critters. So you finished The Legend of Vox Machina and you're craving more, right? You think, I know, I'll go watch the original campaign.
Excellent idea. Until you hit play on episode 1 and two things smack you in the face. The questionable sound quality and the 3 to 4 hour runtime. Yikes.
Don't worry, we've got you. We're diving into the chaos so you don't have to. We'll sacrifice our ears and our evenings to bring you the recaps, highlights, and all of the behind-the-scene magic you crave.
Welcome to Vox Rewatch.
Because the past deserves a second look.
With better audio. We're just a bunch of longtime friends and proud critters who love the chaos, the characters, and the wild ride of storytelling. Join us as we dive back into it all with lots of laughs, way too many theories, and probably some tears too.
I'm Doug.
I'm Connie.
And I'm Eric. This podcast is part of Tabletop Tether, our nerdy little home for TTRPG content, deep dives, and unapologetic fan joy. Just so we're clear, Vox Rewatch is an unofficial fan podcast and isn't affiliated with or endorsed by Critical Role in any way.
So to recap episode 2, after having battled a many-headed Naga creature, they are approached by Lord Greyspine and offered a contract for 25,000 gold pieces to eliminate this problem that has been in their minds for quite some time. They accept, they share some ale, sneakily, and then head down and talk to Nearest, the foreman, who likes his dried fruit, and he gives them some information. He gives them a map. They go back to the Firebrand, the home of the Arcanus in Craghammer. This time, Tiberius attempts to do the right thing. Well, kind of dispels magic on a rune that he couldn't get past the night before. They have their first, well, maybe not their first run-in with the door, but definitely a major run-in with the door. Finally, Scanlan is able to knock on the door because is that all we want to do is just knock on the door? They knock on the door. They are basically rejected by the Firebrands. So they go off to buy potions and such. The first of the why would you do that? As Grog does math surprisingly well. And then they head down to the elevator to go down to the mines, follow the map, and as they travel many hours and miles, they are surprise attacked by some Umberhulks. One turns into a snail, but unfortunately, after being thrown in a waterfall, it comes back. After defeating those, they are attacked by some Durgar because Grog saw shiny things and took off running. In the course of this battle, Grog becomes catatonic by a intellect devourer, and they take a Durgar hostage and for questioning, and that's how it was left. Durgar, with Grog catatonic, and the party scared that they were going to lose him.
They were very panicked.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
If this was my D&D session, I would give you an inspiration die for the recap.
Well, thank you. It's funny, I remember things the second time through. I'm like, oh crap, yeah, that's right.
Well, you definitely made me remember some things that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So, well done.
Yeah.
I find it very funny how stuck they were on the fact that they all needed to drink this ale. They spent all of this time, the first time Vex trying to steal it. Oh no, I'm just serving you. And was it Percy being the one that finally came through? It was like, it's tradition here that we seal things with a toast.
Yeah.
And they all
tried it. You tried it last episode. It didn't work. They tried it again. And
it wasn't a great roll either.
No.
But it Matt was probably like, "Come on, guys! If I don't do this, then they're just going to keep asking."
You know what's funny though? Thinking about it now and thinking through the rest of the campaign, I don't think it like they got it. They have it in their wineskin. Never touch it.
Nope.
Well, and they promised it to people, but as we see in future episodes, I don't know if they ever see those people again. So
I don't know if they do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll come back to this in a future episode. But even the deal for some of the scalps,
Yeah.
not they come to collect, but that's never done. So
yeah. Nah. When you mentioned the poor foreman who was really enjoying their dried fruit, all I can think about from that scene, and the only thing that truly stuck with me, was the horrific description Matt gave when Trap is like, "Oh, I go through the bag of holding," and talks about finding this like turkey leg, I think,
and beef jerky,
and then discussing that the bag of holding is in fact not a bag of colding. Difference. And when he's like, "Oh, I just throw that," and just like he describes like the squish and the horrified look on the foreman's face. Describes like, "Here's some food," and they had this nice conversation with them, and he's just chucking rotten meat at him.
I didn't say it was any good. I just need to get this stuff out of the bag of holding.
I just need to get it out of the bag of holding, and then sadly realizing they no longer had the troll dick.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like I think on that scene, and that's all my brain goes back to. It's just like in slow motion, the imagery of it being tossed.
one other highlight of that. Two highlights, I guess I should say. One, when Vex winks at him.
Oh yeah.
And he says, "Made me tingle in my shoulders." That might be the diabetes. That was like so good.
Yes, and that was why they's like, "You need to eat stuff other than dried fruit."
And then when Scanlan, when he says like, "I've got a couple chairs, you could sit on my lap," and Scanlan's like, "I've killed. Come on, like." Oh, okay, never mind. Those are the three things that really stuck out.
I love that Scanlan's riding the high of finally like getting the kill.
Yep.
And then the firebrands again and doors.
Yes.
Oh my god. It's bad watching them all panic.
Yeah. My favorite part of that was I guess towards the end, Liam's like, "This game has consequences." Yeah. Like, this isn't, you just keep retrying or like reload a save or anything. You're gonna mess this up, and these guys aren't gonna talk to you anymore.
Yeah, and Travis was so disappointed that he didn't get to run in there first. That Vax ended up getting hit. He's like, "That's all I'm here for." Like I'm supposed to take damage.
And then just finally Scanlan's like, "Oh, we just want to knock on the door," and just sends his little unseen servant knock, knock, knock on the door. And then finding out it's a dwarf. And at this point, Tiberius had already disguised himself, right?
No, it was Keyleth.
No.
He said it. He said, "I'm going to." I do it to her instead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And then made Keyleth with her. And this is when we find out truly for the first time how uncharismatic Keyleth is. She's like, "I've been trying my Cockney accent for the past 6 seconds," or whatever the quote was. And truly seeing how Keyleth just is not, she's not it when it comes to charisma.
No. That was definitely her dumb stat.
No, It was so bad. And they truly just did everything they could to have the worst first impression with like bombing their house at nighttime, basically, and then the next day coming in with these people that are known for like their magic and everything, and someone's magicked in front of them, being like, "Hey guys, we're cool. I'm from around." Like, Oh, that was so bad. And just like watching them truly crumble. I don't know. We never watched any, like, we don't know their previous games, but I truly wonder if this was one of the first times that they truly just caved and like were not able to like make a connection with someone before, like, because they all seem truly devastated over that at level 9. Like maybe it finally happened to them. I don't know, but they truly seemed like they were trying so hard.
Gosh darn it, people like us.
Guys, we're Vox Machina, like me. And then they got potions after that.
Yeah.
That was the first why would you do that? From Laura to Travis. 9 potions at 300 apiece, and she's like, that'll be 2,500 gold to the shopkeep. And Grog was like, oh, isn't that 2,700? And she's like, she literally looked over and was like, and it was totally Laura, not so much Vax at this point. Why would you do that? And it just starts that was my goal, was to count how many of those, and I think it's 4 from her, and 1 from Keyleth to Tiberius, I think.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we'll see in the future. That is not the last time that Travis ruins shopping for Laura. So,
yeah. And it's wonderful because the first time I watched this, I had no idea that they were a happily married couple. And
I didn't either.
I don't think I did either.
I didn't know any of the relationships that anybody had at the table. Yep. I don't know if Matt and Marisha were together yet at that point or not.
Yes.
If they were or weren't. Yeah.
I think they were together dating, but like they didn't give any indication on
Zero
on the show at all. Yeah. Travis and Laura, I think they did. I think they introduced themselves, but I don't think Matt and Marisha did. And it was a really long time into the show that I was like, wait a minute.
Huh? Wait, they're married?
Right.
Yeah, I remember going, Trunks is married to Roy Mustang.
I forgot that she was Trunks.
She is!
Wait, what?
Laura Bailey!
Yeah, Laura Bailey is the voice of Child Trunks in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, she did a lot of work at Funimation with Dragon Ball Z and all that fun. She goes way back.
Yep.
Yeah. On a funny note, for a long time, because I think too, we see how close the relationships are with everybody at the table as things go on, and as our problem player is removed, you see a lot more comfort and like the leaning and like the general support. But I genuinely thought that there was something with Marisha and Taliesin at the beginning.
I did too. Yeah.
Because of just like the two of them have always been close. And it wasn't until later on that we see, oh no, actually everybody is close. It is honestly is whoever you are sitting next to is your emotional support person at the table.
Right.
And that's just what it is. So I was like, oh my God, okay, yes. When it was Matt and Marisha.
Yeah.
So then what? We get into the actual tunnels. Right? That's the next thing?
Yeah,
Percy tries to make... What was the thing that Percy tried to make again?
The bolo arrow.
Bolo arrow,
yeah.
Trying to make the arrow and having a real crummy roll with like even all of his bonuses getting a 10.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's been interesting, like seeing how like the tinkering mechanic has changed over the time, like the course of the campaign with like what Percy was able to build and make and do. And I feel like it's just interesting watching him at the beginning, like truly struggle. And we'll talk later about seeing like how he ran bad news and how that worked versus everything else, and certain mechanics that I feel like that didn't stick as much. Or maybe I just didn't notice them much. But it was just interesting watching him like try his best. And them having their talk, do we go to the brothel? And they were like in the background, no!
Well, I think that and I've never played Pathfinder before, so I don't know.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of that didn't carry over well because I know Keyleth
Mhm.
mentioned a couple times, or I guess Marisha mentioned a couple times that she wanted to make potions. And in D&D, that is a long process, but it
It's
seemed
very
like
long.
it was something easier for her to do.
Mhm.
So I think that, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm curious. I kind of want to look that up. Maybe we'll before too long, but just, yeah, what that looks like in Pathfinder, because a lot of things like the tinkering, the
Yeah.
potion making, things like that.
Even just what they were calling things, like later on when they're in their battle, saying make a will save. And then they're like, oh, I haven't done that yet. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's a wisdom saving throw, because they were still getting used to the new system. I am
And then-
genuinely, yeah?
No, go ahead.
No,
I think
just-
Percy said something about using his minor to do
Yeah.
something as instead of bonus action. Like that was
Mhm.
one of those other terminology things. It's like
Yeah.
I'm learning about Pathfinder and I'm not playing it, but just picking up the little bits and pieces.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious if it was like Felicia Day's thought to have them go to 5e versus continuing Pathfinder, because they felt that would be more digestible. Like, would Pathfinder have been the thing that was thrust into like the limelight if they had kept it as a Pathfinder game versus keeping it, making it 5e? Just an interesting what if thought.
Yeah.
I think Matt had mentioned not the difficulty, but it's like D&D is a little bit more streamlined as far as battle goes.
Mhm.
Are there more modifiers that you have to calculate in Pathfinder, and that have made battles take even longer?
Mhm.
And would people still be interested if they have to sit through a huge battle that takes forever because wait, I got to count all these things up before I can?
Yeah, I think Pathfinder's a lot crunchier.
Very
And
crunchy.
yeah, so I think it would have taken a lot longer. I think 5e really streamlines things and helps make things run smoother. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thought of
Yeah.
I wonder,
Yeah.
what would have been. We'll never know. Now it's Daggerheart.
Right, which they even streamline even more. I think it's just the mechanics of it are just so much simpler.
Yeah, but I know some people actually struggle with it being so streamlined and so simple that they're like, but you need to tell me what to do.
Right.
Has been the recourse that I've seen.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to play it yet, but a certain someone whose video was below mine has mentioned that perhaps they're picking it up.
It is on its way. We'll see. So yeah, look forward to that. If you think we don't screw up enough on here, you can watch us screw up playing Daggerheart.
Not gonna lie, I'm already on the character creator on online.
Oh, there you go.
I'm trying to remember what it's called. Nope, not up.
Hey guys, sorry I made you wait.
I had it on there somewhere. But yeah, I started looking at different classes and stuff. I'm already kind of digging in a little bit. So
cool.
Yeah.
I know nothing yet, but
yeah,
it's definitely interesting.
I know 0.
Awesome. One thing I just saw in my notes.
Moving on.
I want to go back to.
Yes.
Okay, so they are trying to get in the door, and Lord Thunderbrand comes out and talks to the group and casts silence on Tiberius.
Oh my god.
I thought it was so cool that Orion had an entire conversation without saying a word, but acted out the whole thing and did the whole thing. And if you weren't watching it, you would have 100% missed it, because he just had a conversation. I'm really curious.
Thing. Really animated.
Yeah. And I want to get somebody that can read lips to find out what he was saying.
I'm not sure he was saying anything.
You don't think?
He was moving his lips a lot. There were a couple times where he was, but in reaction, Scanlan made a comment and he's and he looked at him, he's like, what? And then you couldn't follow but there was like a hand gesture in there and some other random stuff. So it's hard to say. He may have had a actual conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the one thing that is nice about watching the video versus the podcast is you get to see like those little moments. And while he's been a troublesome player, that was a fun thing that he did do that did add to it.
There have been a lot of interesting thoughts, ideas, reactions from his character, and that I guess that's what makes it like suck worse that he's not there, because there were some really good interactions until there weren't, and it was almost a turn of a dime. It
was. We'll see
from
that
one scene to another. It was like, where'd that come from? You know, but
why would you do that?
Yeah.
Circle back.
Yeah.
That was definitely an interesting part. And then get into I think the thing that I appreciate about Matt getting them all into the Underdark, getting into the mines, is truly giving them a feel for the depth of the space, of talking about how they are walking for hours. And like as soon as he starts describing how long they're walking and feeling like they're making no progress, and you watch everybody's faces go like, oh, we're going. And then as it progresses on, even in like later episodes, like we have to keep going down. Like this is so deep. We have to keep going. And I don't know if they would have gotten that if he hadn't set it up with it takes you like 4 hours to even get to the next spot. Right. Before we even go through. And just I'll never forget, as they're like going into the mines, I remember Laura saying, Matt, this sounds like creepy encounter music. I don't trust it. And just playing its spooky ooky music. And I will say there was a notable change in the sound quality from episode 1 to 2. I feel like they did a lot better with balancing the music over the voices. Versus last time the music was blasting. And the one thing I find that's kind of cute, I don't know if cute's the right word, is when you watch it, you can watch the chat. And so I actually was following the chat through a lot of these episodes. And the one thing people kept saying is like, static, it's part of the game. You just have to accept the static. It's so, because like people were complaining and they're like, but they were doing it with like crowns and sparkles. They're like, it's just a part of the game. Static. And like, and so the chat just kept going like, it's static. That is one of the things that as it moves later on and they no longer show the chat, you kind of miss that. I feel like that's one of the charms of watching the game live or watching it on Twitch, is you do get to see like the live chat and get to see some of the interesting discourse and ideas that are in there. But because there were so few people, it moves so slow that you could actually read it.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, I can't watch the chat now because it flies by.
Yeah, way too fast.
I usually I put it off to the side and minimize it or whatnot, and can't do it.
They were going on about like a 1,200 subscriber goal. Just wow.
Yep.
Oh, but I really feel
segue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Go. No, okay. Segue. I was just going to keep chatting about nothing.
Well, as they're entering the Underdark.
Yes.
Did anyone catch the secret word of this episode?
No.
Cacophonous.
Yes,
like Matt's really good with descriptors, but he used cacophonous so many times. I think a couple, not even the right context, but it was like it was just everywhere, and it was great. I'm not complaining. It's not a bad thing. It was the word that kept popping in my head because I was listening to it, and I'd hear that word. I'm like, how many times did Matt say that this episode? It was a lot. Just throwing it out there.
Funny.
It was the word of the episode.
That is one of the things I noticed when I listened back to my recordings as a DM. Like, I went through a phase where I kept saying "ka-chow," and then I listened back to myself. I was like "ka-chow," and I was like, "Why the hell am I saying Ka-chow in Barovia. But I was just so stuck on it. You know, you get a word stuck. And you were so right though. Now that you said it, I'm like, yeah, I can count that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was when the Umber Hulks landed, cacophonous.
Yep.
You know, crash, and then when the poo cloud.
Mm-hmm.
There was a cacophonous amount of coughing and hacking. I'm like, yeah, that's not how you. I don't think that word means what you think it does. But it was funny at that point because he'd used it so many times.
Yeah.
That it worked.
That's so good.
I think maw is another word that he uses a lot. Like
toothy maw.
Toothy maw. Yeah.
What was it? The word sigil that he always got wrong. Sigil. He used to say.
Yeah, he used to say sigil. Yeah.
Sigil.
Yep. We'll see all of that.
Here's the earth.
That's the other one he uses a lot.
Yeah.
So then he'll start the next. It's great.
That is so good. The Umber Hulk fight I thought was really fun. You had said this earlier in our chat, Eric, that you felt this was like the first time we got an inkling of how the party actually works well together. And we'll start to see it more in like their later battles. But I felt like this really was the first time because like that first battle and the other one, like they were all over the place. Yeah. They were everywhere. And this one felt a little bit more pulled together. There were really some creative uses of magic and things and just tomfoolery from Scanlan because I love the look on everybody's faces, especially Liam's face. Who's like, I turned it into a snail. And they were like, yeah!
I love because that is everyone's like, I'm going to polymorph something into something tiny. Like, dragon? Yeah, bug. That's what we're going to do.
Well, I just saw a clip on YouTube. It was a reel from campaign 2 when Laura does that. And the title was something about ruining your challenge level 17, creature. And it was a worm. And she just, done. I didn't see the outcome because I don't remember that episode, but it was awesome.
It is so good as a spellcaster when that actually works. You're like, you're a sheep. Go sheep. Or campaign 2 when they turned the sea dragon into like a turtle or something. So they turned some monster into a turtle. I do remember that. And then they were all like, "Don't touch the turtle."
Yeah, don't touch it.
It was in campaign 2 when they were at the cave towards the end when they had Molly Mock back, but Molly Mock was now Reagan, and they had the monster in the snow or something, and they were.
Well, that was the one.
And then she
turned into a snow bunny.
Snow bunny. Yep.
Yeah. That was exactly the one. Everyone else had been stunned.
Yep.
And she was the only one that saved.
Yep.
And she's like, I have a plan. And she's sitting there like really concentrating on what she was going to do. And then she's like, I'm going to cast polymorph. And it worked. It was amazing.
It was so good. And then they're like, we gotta run! But I feel like at this point, they're tossing, like when Liam tossed the snail, like they didn't think or they didn't know how the spells worked as well then, because anybody would know a snail's got like 1 hit point. So like throwing it into the water, anything's going to turn it right back. And I kind of love like, because they're so new, they still make a lot of mistakes that new players make. And it's like, I might have done that too. And I just remember Liam's face being like, oh no.
Yeah.
But it washed all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Tiberius was explaining to Scanlan, they were talking to each other. Maybe it was Orion to Sam, but it was still a conversation of, because if it dies as the polymorphed creature, then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that misunderstanding of the spell.
Yeah.
Even though they're like, don't touch it, they all knew not to touch it. But something about that, he wasn't understanding it fully or whatever. But you never know what's going to happen. But if the water had washed it away further, maybe it wouldn't have been an issue anyway.
Would have been so nice. Just like gently, like bloop, into the water. But no, he chucked it, like the arm motion and everything, and just chucked the snail, and then it came back to that. I really loved the combat because it was our first example of like a 2-stage battle, and we don't get those a lot, where they fought the Umber Hulk, they fought the second Umber Hulk. They're fighting these, like they were really skillful, and like they did one at a time, and then they all seem like they're done. And like they're all talking about needing to heal and like who's hurt, who's not hurt, and then just Grog being Grog. And
is it a frenzied rage? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, he was a frenzied rage, and he runs off towards the light, and then talks about him taking like the 3 arrows, and they're like, "What do you mean?" And like combat starts up again. I thought that was real fun, and I think that's something that I need to utilize more as a DM, of like lulling my players into a sense of security that's done, and then playing the psych card.
Right.
Yeah, saying, "Oh no, you're still in initiative."
Yeah, I did not take the initiative counter out, guys. I don't know why you think you're fine. It's still there.
Speaking of that, I love the hand-drawn map. Like, I'm
Oh,
so used to maps, like very extravagant maps now, but yeah, the hand-drawn OG on grid paper, like,
And like an area was hidden by the monster manual.
Yeah.
Remember, he's like, you can't see it, and it's just plop, a monster manual on top. I was like, oh, I've done that.
This is what you do when you don't have money to buy Dwarven Forge.
Right.
No. And it was so good. And then like him explaining how the waterfall worked, the way everything went, and just everybody was like, oh my god, like, and they were so genuinely excited to have a map. Like, oh.
And that's one thing, as I was listening to it on my headphones, I was listening to these descriptions, and there were some times when it was confusing because you have this waterfall from this side, and this might not be the right episode to talk about the waterfalls, but like hearing these things, it you do kind of get turned around in your head, like, am I imagining this right? But even that simple handwritten map was enough to clarify it. So
yeah, it made me realize how much I rely, like, on Roll20. I love Roll20 because I can make pretty elaborate maps. Like, even though they're 2D, I don't have to describe as much, and that's one of my downfalls as a DM, is I don't describe as well as I should. And I feel like, I don't know, Matt does a really good job at that. Where
I remember a really interesting map that you had made one time because you weren't prepared for us to go somewhere, I think, and you had like this little hand-drawn thing on Roll20. Do you remember that?
I mean, maybe. Probably.
it was still good. It still worked. It was just like, wow, this is not what we're used to. It would be like if Matt went backwards to hand-drawn maps. That wouldn't be... Yeah.
Now he has like 3 maps, all Dwarven Forge, just in case his players go, like, depending on which way they go. And it's like, dang, man.
I mean, if we talk about Matt for a second here, having all of those things prepped, I am interested to see Matt actually getting to be a player in campaign 4. With Brendan Lee Mulligan running it, and what kind of maps. Like, I'm just now dipping my toes into Dropout. Like, I finally got a Dropout subscription, so I can finally watch all of their games and really get like a good feel for Brendan Lee Mulligan as a DM, other than his like little times with like the Exandria, like little mini campaigns he did. But I'm curious to see like his take on maps and, you know, using what Matt has already created, and Matt getting to be a player after 10 years, finally like not having to have 3 just in case maps. He can just have character sheet.
And you could tell how excited he was to play. What was his character's name? Dariax.
Oh,
Just to watch him play that, he was intentionally, I think, separating himself as a player. Even like he wasn't playing a character that would be like out front doing a lot. He was kind of just that dwarf that you know not real bright. I think that was intentional to give everybody the space they needed, but man, he loved that. You could tell he was enjoying it.
But his rolls are notoriously bad, like almost Will Wheaton bad.
Yeah.
Whenever he's a player, and I don't know why.
Right.
I think there's something like when you're a DM, you have the opportunity to make so many rolls. So even if you roll bad as a DM, you are rolling 3 times as many times as every other player. Fair. So when you're a notoriously bad roller, it doesn't look bad as a DM because it helps your players. And they're behind the screen most of the time. Now we've removed the screen and he's just there with his bad rolls.
But it worked for Dariax too. Like it made sense that Dariax wasn't going to be doing well, for whatever reason. Yeah. That was I like that character.
And as we talk about like the end of that combat, I will say I felt like the Intellect Devour happened so fast in taking out Grog, and poor Groggery Strongjaw with his 6 intelligence was just. He didn't have a lot of brains to feed the Intellect Devourer. It was still probably very hungry after it feasted on him. And I think Matt was a very kind DM to even give him the possibility of coming back from that. Because I think if you read up on what the Intellect Devourer can do, I think it like...
I was just going to look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too. I think it actually does just like take the creature out. As I'm pulling it up here, we'll see if my thought process is correct. Let's see. Intellect Devour targets a creature can see. Failure. Target is stunned until it regains at least 1 point of intelligence. Intellect Devourer initiates the intelligence contest with incapacitated. Oh, so the Intellect Devourer could have taken over Grog if they had got to him any sooner.
That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, if the host body drops to 0 hit points, the Intellect Devourer with it.
I mean, you can ask our one friend Twiggy. My favorite thing to do is to take over our strongest players and have them turn on the rest of the party. So
I have done that a few times. I will say I got to play my level 9 monk recently, and they have like a steadiness of mind, or I can't remember the exact name of the ability, but you can shake off being charmed or frightened on your turn. Ooh. And so the DM was having me roll, and I'd failed it. And I was like, that's fine. And they're like, what do you mean that's fine? I was like, I'll just get rid of it at my turn. And they were like, no, I wanted to have Evan punch everybody. Because my turn was like I was the next turn. So I completely just like ruined their turn. But oh man, when you are mind controlled and you are hitting people, I mean, I'll tell you, or just like having your intellect or like your mind stolen. Like, have either of you been feeble-minded as a player?
No, thank goodness.
I don't think so, no.
I have. And you know me, I'm not a violent person. I have charisma and I am animated, but I'm not a violent person. But I failed this save by 1. And I was a level 14 cleric. And at that point, I was the only spellcaster in our group for that session because the others were all out sick and it was just melee. And we had our little dollar store calculators because math is hard. And I remember failing my save and just sitting at the desk. And then I looked over, grabbed my calculator, and chucked it at the wall. We were playing in my friend Joe's basement. And I just went, ah! And it just blew up into pieces because it's cheap. And everybody at the table was like, and I did that. I was like, sorry. Like, meekly got up from the table and collected all the pieces of the calculator and brought it back to my seat at the ping pong table.
So Did you have to wait the full 30 days?
I didn't, thank God. We ended up having like a cleric NPC like a couple towns over. So it took a few days. I think I had like nothing that I could do for like 5 days. It was mid-combat too. So I had to just finish being like this foaming, drooling mess of like punching things and hoping for the best. And I was just so mad. I remember like the whole combat like glaring at Joe, being like, "You and me, after this, we meet in the kitchen." Like, I was so mad. But as a DM, I did feeble mind our wizard once, and it was an amazing, so it's the dichotomy of the two. But just anything that steals like your wits from you, or like possessing people with ghosts, that's fun. Like when you take them over. Yep. Yeah. Like will-o-wisps, man, those things. Oh, but like that's our first taste of like Grog not being all there. Think about it.
It was cursed daggers for me.
Cursed daggers?
Oh my.
Oh no, wait.
They talk to me in my head. Of course, no one else hears them.
Of course they did.
And yeah. Oh, it was frustrating.
Love those daggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the player and the DM right there, and I'm stuck in the middle.
Just you wait.
It was so good, though. It was so good. It was one of the most fun interactions in that game with us. I had a whole nother mission in that period of time.
Oh, that's fun.
But I ultimately wasn't allowed to accomplish, but it's okay.
Oh man, I feel like a lot and nothing happened this session.
Yeah, that's what this is one of the questions that I have on my sheet was, watching this again, what is, how do you feel about this episode? And not my favorite. It is kind of a nothing episode to me. Like, I feel like it was pretty boring. Not one that I would be like, hey, you need to go listen to episode 2. It's a doozy.
Yeah.
And I listened to it for about a dozen times, so I don't want to hear it. I actually still enjoyed it because, like I said, it was finding those little quirky things and picking up on the why would you do that. Grog echo hollers down the canyon, through the canyon or through the tunnel. Grog, 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 and she's like, why would you do that? And stuff like that just made it like it was more of the RP side of it that was interesting to me. Yeah, obviously the battles were interesting, and turning something into a snail and throwing it in a waterfall was great. But there were all these little fluky, quirky things that happened in this episode that I thought made it really, really good.
I think you're right. We got to see a lot of players' personalities and things start to come through. I feel like we got a lot more of what Vax's personality is. We didn't see Vax shine as much the first episode. Like, we got a taste of Vax, but actually getting to more of Vax's dynamic and actually seeing him and Vex act like siblings and like belting ahead and doing the things that we're going to see them be like their signature things that they do a lot in the game. So I can agree with that. It just felt like when I was trying to remember what happened, like sitting down to be like, what happened? I was like, huh. The one thing I do remember happening was Matt Mercer is no better than all of us because he too had to check the rule book for grappling.
Yes.
the one rule that defies us all.
It does. Anytime you want to like grapple, I like internally panic and I'm like, what's D&D? How does this work? What are dice? And I just panic every time a player was even when I want to grapple. Like, can I do anything else other than grapple? Shit, I gotta grapple. And like, it's just contested strength, and then to escape is athletics. But why don't I remember it?
You know what? I think my Achilles heel is jumping. I never remember the rules for jumping, and
kind of you
because it's not just I think it's your strength number, not your modifier, or something like. Yeah. Anyway,
and it counts as part of your distance. I mean, honestly, the only time I ever jumped was when I played a satyr because I could mirthfully leap. And I was like, I am mirthfully leaping. Ha ha! And, I could like jump and go extra far because goat legs. Do you have a downfall? The thing that you always forget, Doug?
Having not DM'd that many times.
Okay.
Not from that standpoint. But there was something what character?
You never used Lucky. You took the feat and never used
I took the Lucky feat. That's what it was, yeah. Because I'm like, I'm going to need this. There's going to be a moment when I'm trying to assassinate someone because I was assassin rogue and I knew it was going to happen. So I took Lucky. And I how many times did I actually use that? Like 10
Not
times
enough.
that whole campaign, maybe. I'd be like, I have 3 points. I can spend these 3 points. And I'd always forget until I remembered and I'd use them all at once and be done with them. And I think that was part of the problem. Lucky. Yeah. Lucky. Yeah, that's right. It was luck. That was.
I never take Lucky just because, I don't know, I always feel like I want to take something else. But I do have a penchant for loving halflings who are inherently lucky.
Well, and I was a halfling. So I'd use that. Well, I don't know if I always remembered that either.
No, you didn't remember that either.
Yeah. Anything where I had to re-roll.
Lucky?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Doug.
Yeah.
Doug!
Well, I was so focused on all the other things I had to remember because I think that character I had a lot more.
That character is a little broken.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I had key points to keep track of because I was a monk, a shadow monk,
boy. Yeah,
and an assassin rogue multi-class.
Oh,
so
fun.
I had key points and I had sneak attack, but I never had enough of either because I multi-classed. And it was always a matter of, okay, what am I going to take next so I can maximize one or the other? But there was always something in rogue that I really wanted, or it was like, I got to wait till I get to this level but I had to take previous levels to get to it. So it ended up being a great character, and I loved shadow stepping. I know he didn't love shadow stepping, but
not even a little bit.
Because as an assassin,
oh my god,
I could shadow step.
Yep.
And it gave me advantage on my next attack. And because assassinate was if you had advantage on your next attack and you're not seen, you can assassinate. And it was like the perfect combo for that moment. But my sneak attack was never as high as it could have been to do the most damage.
Yep.
So it was helpful, but not as helpful as it could have been. But it was great.
Why you got cursed daggers?
Yes.
Eric!
Which I stole fair and square and should have known better, but I had to have those daggers.
Claudia, I set him up. And
the carrot and the string right here.
100%. I basically put signs on these things that said, don't steal me. And what does Doug do? Steals them. So.
Because I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I will never forget in my first D&D campaign, my friend Lily was playing a swashbuckler rogue, and we went into this magic store, and she happened to roll a natural 20 to swipe this like cloak of like the manta ray, and it was worth like it's like a big ticket item, like worth over 1,000 gold for sure. And we got out of the store and she passed all of the checks to get out. And then every time we went to a magical store after that, they all had security tags on them. And they were like, oh yeah, somebody came in and stole this high ticket item and now we're all really scared. So they all have magical tracking and all these things on them. You know, the game has consequences.
Yep.
That's funny.
She comes in wearing it too, which was the funniest thing. She wore that thing proudly. Oh, but man, what a cliffhanger. I think that is the one thing the game did end on, the cliffhanger of them all being like, Grog! Because nobody knew. When he described him as being catatonic, they didn't know if Grog was alive or dead or what was going on with him. Yep. So that was the one thing Matt did really well, was leaving them on the like, huh!
Yeah.
This is the end. Join us next time as we discuss Strange Bedfellows, episode 3 of campaign 1 of Critical Role.
And I guess I should say the socials at Tabletop Tether, all the places.
So please
Right.
do join us.
Connie,
I
HR
promise-
will be in touch later.
I promise we're going to be social. We're going to have all of the fun, all of the discussions and things. Lots of clips and recaps, and you might even find some of our outtakes on socials.
No outtakes. We're perfect. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night.